I'm serious. I've adopted you. If you know the battle we fought to be here today, you will know. Shows I've really adopted you. One of my big friends in the city sent me a message. I land you. I said, don't touch it. That's Sunday morning. Don't touch it. We'll see later. But this one, we are coming here. We made up our mind to be here. We had options, but we said it has to be here. So, are you following me? So we saw it and like, my God, massive property. So he said, okay, we set up a meeting with the grandfather, which he did set up, she did set up. And the grandfather and the whole clan came around with a few of my leaders. So like, okay, your granddaughter prophesied, it's our property. What's going on? The hands, everybody say, yes, we believe so too. She has told us. But the man kept quiet. The grandfather, who was 86 years old. And I understand perfectly why he was quiet. He has pastored in that building for 40 years. The church was the biggest church in the community. They had a school. In fact, a good number of the people in the community went to that school. So part of what we inherited was the school. The school, everything. And now it's beginning to look like they were struggling. And they felt like we can manage this property again. So everybody felt like, yes, this man is the right man. But the man kept quiet. But I didn't force. I told them, leave the man. In fact, the granddaughter go mad. He embarrassed us. We have had conversation with him. And he said, it's okay to bring you. I said, it's okay. I said, Shalita, did I come to you that was looking for a building? We are not homeless. We have a church, which is doing well. And we are even thinking of expanding on the same street. So it's okay. Of course, we know we need to expand, but we're not desperate. Leave your grandfather alone. Rest. So I calmed that down. So about a year after that, a phone call came in. Hello? Is this Dr.Kay? I said, yes, this is Dr.Kay. This is Reverend Murphy. I'm like, Murphy, who is Murphy? After a while, I say, yes, the man we saw last year. He said, can I see you? I'm like, why? He said, the Lord told me that my property is yours. I said, okay, you were quiet last year, now you are calling. He said, the Lord told you. So I dropped the phone. I called Shalita, your grandfather just called me. He said, yeah, I know about it. He called me. He said, can you call Pastor Kay? I said, nah, you call him. He came last year, you embarrassed us all. Grandpa, this is his number. If you're really serious, call him. So that's why I called you. I said, so it's real? He said, it's real. So we had another meeting. But this time around, he was the one championing it. Okay, we need to finalize this thing soon. And I'm like, how much do you want to take? They said, tell us how much you want to pay. So I went to pray, and God gave me a number that does not make sense. Even one house on that street costs more. For example, they are selling a house in front of our street now. That house is 700,000, one house. And I said, the Lord told me 540 for the streets. And they said, yes, we will do 540. And we fixed the closing date. The man said, no, you don't need a realtor. You don't need a lawyer. Let's just do it. Gentleman. It was like something was chasing him. And they fixed the closing, and the man went into coma. So we closed. He was still in coma. Somebody represented him. And after we closed, he went to heaven. And the Lord told me, he said, I've just handed over a baton to you for that neighborhood. So I was so surprised when the children called me and says, Pastor Kay, won't you mind if we do the funeral in your church? I said, why not? Will you be kind enough to officiate? I said, why not? Even the place they went to, I was the one that went to open it. They got a smaller facility, and they said, will you be kind enough to be the one to open it up? I said, why not? And they said, there are a lot of, they said, we have a tradition in the family. All the grandchildren, all the children, they go married in this church. Can we come back? I say, why not? Why not? At no cost. So it was while I was thanking God for this street, after we closed, that the Lord said, do you know they lost this facility to you because they lost a generation? So 40 years ago, they were the biggest in the neighborhood. They were on TV, they were on radio, they had a school, everything was working. And they got so much into their generation that they forgot there was a generation coming. So 40 years after, there was no generation to take over. He said, I had to bring somebody from Africa to take the baton. And he said, you have been doing ministry for 20 years. He said, in fact, I gave you this to tell you I'm with you. But if you don't want to turn apostles into choir member and prophets into ushers, go back to where you started and start a new movement. He said, separate it from the existing structure. Give them direct access to you. And in that vision, I saw Shola. He said, it's the apostle that will lead the movement. And he told me, he said, I will make him what Oneraku. I will make him to you what Oneraku was to Pastor Adeboye. He said, he will interpret the vision I gave you to a generation perfectly. He said, you will not be able to interpret it, but he will interpret it. He said, but cover him, don't control him. He said, there are things, there are strategies I will give him that you will not understand. He said, just because you don't understand does not make it wrong. He said, you don't need to know everything. I will tell you what you need to know. If you need to put him in check, I will let you know. He said, give them feathers to fly. Don't control them. Cover them. So I called Shola. He thought it was a small fellowship thing, so he was excited. So it was on the day of ordination that I realized that, this thing is big. Because as of that time, he was leading a dance group, choreography. Those of you that went to Ife, they had this group called The Word. He was a dancer who has never had any pastoral responsibility. He was not even the head of department in church. But God said, he's the man for the job. When a season that God will look at people that don't look like it, they are the youngest in the house. Even the prophet would have assumed it has to be Eliab. But we say, no, he's the youngest, the illegitimate child. You know, that was why he was not brought to the table. Because he is a son from side chick. So the illegal sons were lined up, but God said none of them. He's the one that is despised, the product of a relationship that should not have been. That's the one I will put oil on. Grace focuses on what is despised. Eliab said, oh, the only one that is not here is the youngest. Samuel said, then bring him. As he was coming, God said, that's the one. So God said, he's the boy, the dancer. That's the one I will use. The boy who has vowed never to pastor in his life. That was why he came to my office the day I was supposed to do a nation. He said, sir, can we not do this? I closed my eyes. I said, Shola, my eyes are closed. If I open it and you are still in this room, anything that happened, I'm not responsible for it. He got the message, he ran out. The boy that walked into our church at age 13 in slippers. One of our branches in Alagbado said, that's the apostle for the movement. He said, elevate him. Don't put him under the existing structure. Give him a new access. He's a new fountain. He must not be corrupted. So you are the apostolic oversight, but don't put it in KingsWord system. Give them their system. Clear instruction. Now the clear instruction now looks like, boy, you are smart, you have strategy. I was being whooped and I was being given instruction. The only thing I did right was I followed the instruction. And look at my life. Ayé mi Bọ́lá fún ọ, Jésù. Ẹ̀mí mi fògo fún ọ, Jésù. One more time. Ayé mi bọ́lá fún ọ, Jésù. Ẹ̀mí mi fògo fún ọ, Jésù. Ọba tó ní mí, ọba tó ní mí, tó dá mi, tó mọ̀ mí o. Ọba tó ní mí, tó dá mi, tó mọ̀ mí o. One more time. Ọba tó ní mí, tó dá mi, tó mọ̀ mí. Ọba tó ní mí, tó dá mi, tó mọ̀ mí o. Ọba tó ní mí, tó dá mi, tó mọ̀ mí o. Yesu sobokataya. Balakota sadaba ya. Emi mi fogo. You know, I left the shores of this nation. It's going to be 25 years in November. My peers in ministry ask me all the time, what is going on? You don't live here. Your influence is even bigger than us that live here. How come? I'm not a strategist though. I just follow him. Instruction. Even the way I make money is instruction. Instruction. My PA, who follows me around the nations, is a blessed man. He has 4 companies as a CEO. He sells cars, he repairs cars. What's the third one? Sells car, repairs car, and he rents car. But the same person walked into our church less than 5 years ago, and the Lord told me, give him a car, because he did not have a car. And I gave him a car. And pandemic broke. Everybody was shut down. So smart boy, he will come to my house. And the Lord told me, he said, expand his mind. Because he grew up in Ife. He was born and raised in Ife town, Lagere. Those of you that know Ife, Lagere, Sabo, Mayfair. So he was living in America, but his mind was still conditioned for Mayfair, Lagere. Agreement, God bless you. So we'll come around. And the Lord was doing some strange things. And by the way, I do a few business here and there because God breathes on it. So some of the deals will just come in and it will be around me in the office. And I will say, oh, Deji, somebody just paid in 35,000. I say, 35,000. I say, okay, long value. He said, Daddy, I don't make 35,000 a year. I say, it's just only now. Maybe you came from Nigeria. You write it 7 million naira only. I say, only. Shut up. And for about a year, I was redressing his mind. Everyone under the sound of my voice whose mind is conflicting with his prophecy, I declare this morning, receive an upgrade. You know, your mind is like that thermostat that regulates the air condition. You know, the air condition system can be working perfectly and yet will not feel the effect because somebody set the thermostat wrongly. Your spirit has capacity. That's where your prophecy is. But guess what? Your mind can regulate it. Your mind can give it expression or shut it down. I speak as a prophet of God. Everyone under the sound of my voice whose mind has not allowed his prophecy to become, I declare this morning, be released. Literally, during the pandemic, I pulled his mind up. I pulled it. He's a very smart guy. He made first class in Bangkok. So the brain is there, but that thinking level was Lagere level. Pulled the shatter Lagere, broke Sabo, finished Mayfair. By the time I was done with him, I turned to him one day. I said, "Did you go and resign your job?" That was a tough instruction. To the glory of God, the wife just got pregnant for the first time after 10 years. Then 10 years of waiting, which is a testimony by itself. He was the first person, himself and his wife were the first set of couple I will find in my life who had done IVF in 4 continents. Before, they've done it in Nigeria, they did it in England, they did it in Taiwan, and they now did the one in Chicago. So we felt like, this is America now. Only for me to get a call on the day they were supposed to get the result, and this tone was low. "DG, what's going on?" He said, "Sir, it did not work." "Okay, don't be distracted." So I was so broken as a pastor, because that's what we do. We carry people, we love them, their pain is our pain. I said, "Give me the address where you are, I'm coming." He said, "Sir, no, we will come." I said, So he refused to give me the address, so I was stranded. So I had to wait for him. After 30 minutes, himself and his wife, they pulled in front of my house with the car I gave them, the small car, which was their only car then. So I met them at the door. I was so broken. So I put my arms around the wife, for me. I did not even know I was prophesying, Pastor Philip. I said, "Devil, for this you do, for this one you did, we will retaliate. We will retaliate with double." And right there, I named the 2 children. I said, a boy and a girl. Otito ati Ododo. And I released her. Exactly 1 year after, I named Otito and Ododo. Now, while they were carrying Otito and Ododo, I now turned to him. I said, "DG, God told me to tell you, resign your job. That's not your next level." So he was scared in his head, but because he trusted the word of his prophet, he said, "Dr. Kay, I know if he says it, that means he saw it." So he resigned. And from there, God started opening up first company, second company, third company, fourth company. He's only spent 5 years in America. And the person that did not have a car flies a plane today. Flies plane. Because we were working on a little project. I won't say more than that. God told him, "Say, go and learn how to fly, because you're going to fly me all over the world." Can you imagine, as busy as he is with multiple companies, mission first, and as busy as I am, and you know I'm very busy. Anytime I'm coming, he said, gives instructions that you are running a company for the next 3 weeks. I'm going to the first assignment. You know, I'm a pharmacist by training, but he told me, drop pharmacy. I have better plans. I trusted him. All ministry. I thought I will never do anything outside ministry. But he shocked me about 7 years ago. He said, "There's a fountain in you. The same way I've anointed you to raise a supernatural army, to preach and teach and prophesy. He said, I've anointed you to make money." So he started opening fountains. So I have a media company now. In fact, that product, Admac, and me, I'm the CEO. We are friends. We still talked 2 days ago. And Daniel is my friend, because it makes for me. All this, everything you have in this place, and my company manufactures it. We manufacture. Right. Okay. A good number of the mega churches in this country is my product they are using. As busy as I am, me more business. I don't know how to do business. I don't call go for learning. ó gbógo fọ́lẹ̀ mi. Èmi erùpẹ̀ lásán ló wá
here, you would have your testimony already. In the name of Jesus.